What's up guys, Elfis here, and today we're going to be doing another Han hero review, this time of Ravenor upon request. That's why I'm doing him. Somebody requested him, and I'm going to talk about his skills a bit, and then I'm going to talk about how the hero fits in the current metagame, his role, things like that, and then in the end I'm going to give him a star review, 1 out of 5, or I guess 0 to 5, and I'm going to that's just going to be based on all the information you've been given throughout the video, okay? So let's jump into this. So first of all, let's go over his skills quickly. Ravenor's kind of an interesting hero in the sense that his skills kind of make him feel like a melee nuker, so to speak, kind of similar to heroes like Pyromancer or Polywog to an extent, Kinesis, Elonia to an extent, although Elonia is more so a sustained nuker rather than a burst nuker. His skills all have incredibly long cooldowns. I'm just going to quickly show you real quick. First one, 15, 12, 16, his ultimate to passive, so that's where it makes sense. So, you can read his skills, I'm not going to go over that. What I do want you to quickly pay attention to is the amount of damage that his skills put out, okay? So technically his Q has the ability to put out 280 if you use it twice. If you hit it and then also use it to do the follow-up. That's 280 damage there. I just want to quickly go over this. It's 125 per hit. That's another 250, and then this is passive depending on, well, I mean it's passive after you activate it, of course. If they attack, it'll be 80 damage a hit, things like that. You guys can read the skills yourselves. I'm just going to quickly cycle through them. And then his ultimate gives him the ability to output more damage based off of the amount of magic damage that he's been doing, as well as converting his attack damage to superior magic damage, which is actually a big deal. So, what do I think of his skills? His skills are strong. They're strong. The problem is that they are incredibly long cooldowns. A 15, 12, and 16 second cooldown for base abilities, not ultimate abilities, is very, very long. Those are some of the longest in the game. They are not the longest. You know what? Actually, they may be the longest base ability cooldowns in the game. I'm not 100% sure. You'd have to look at the heroes to actually figure that out. I believe they are, though. And that's what makes him feel like a nuker. He runs in, he blows his 3 abilities, or to say the least, his first 2, damaging abilities, and then he just kind of walks around and auto attacks. And his auto attacks build up, they get exponentially stronger because of his ultimate, which I'll just show real quickly, and they build up that way. But he doesn't have the sustained damage really that you would like. Now, what I will say is the items you build kind of they kind of back up your ultimate. That's the way you say them. So for example, I'll give you just a brief idea of the item layout you should build. You want to build kind of tanky so you can live a little bit because you're going to have to be in the middle of it. But you want to build items that will kind of allow you to deal damage with your auto attacks, really. The only exception being not chain lightning, sorry, that's the skill. The charged hammer you build for the ultimate. The charged hammer is what will allow you to, continuously build up charges. The chain lightning procs your charges. It gives you, I believe, 4 charges every chain lightning. So that's where you build up. And this was one of the original games I played with him, so I built a little bit differently than maybe you should, in my opinion. But it's not to necessarily say that it's wrong. It's just a different way of building. I think you should be going. Well, you know what? I'm not going to get into that because that's more guide stuff. I'm not going to talk about it too much. So, do I think his abilities are strong? They are. Do I think they're overpowered? Absolutely not. The cooldowns are so incredibly long in his abilities. His nuke damage is high, but it's not crazy high. The fact that the abilities that make this, sorry guys, the thing that makes this hero really strong is that it's superior magic damage. So that means Shrunken Head does not stop it. So that's where that kind of mindset gets in the fact that this hero is a nuker, but he's kind of a different style of nuker because he has that whole that superior magic damage ability built in. Okay, so is the hero strong? Yes. His role is kind of a nuker, kind of a semi-carry, so to speak. You build him as a nuke, as more of a semi-carry, but he really plays early on as a nuker, and then he transitions into a semi-carry after he's gotten items. Because without items, literally all he can do is blow his load. Blow his load's code for use his skills, and then he's just useless for like 10 seconds. He just walks around auto attacks, basically. I guess, so to speak, that's not useless, but it's certainly less useful than many other heroes can be. So early on, he's just basically a nuker, and that's it. And then later on, he transitions into a semi-carry / carry, depending on how you build him. So that's the role he fills. Is he a strong hero in those roles? To an extent, yes. As a nuker, there are stronger nukers. Pyromancer's a better nuker. Kinesis is probably a better nuker. Let's see, what are the other nukers? Gravekeeper can be a nuker to an extent. If you got bodies around, then yeah, he does quite a bit of damage. Let's see, I think you could consider Elonia a nuker, and Elonia, I think, does a better job at it than he does. But when it comes to carrying, not many nukers can transition into carrying like this hero can. So he fills kind of a nice little niche. You guys can look that up if you don't know what that means. It's kind of like a little home, but his little role, so to speak. So Pyromancer is one of the other ones that can transition into a carry late game because of his fervor, but there aren't many of them. So it's just something to think about. He fills a nice little role, and I think he fills that role really nicely. He does do some decent nuking early on when you take into account that he's going to be a carry late game. So that's what you have to think about. He certainly is not the best nuker early game, but he becomes he's a good nuker when you take into account that he's transitioning into a different role later into the game. He's not going to be a nuker for the whole game. So that's something to think about. I think he certainly fills the role better than Pyromancer does. Pyromancer is better at nuking and worse at carrying late game, if you ask me. So it's kind of a trade-off in that extent. But that doesn't necessarily. It's all about the role you want to fill. So in the current metagame, he certainly fits in fantastically. I think he's not played simply because that role is kind of an odd role and it doesn't fit into a lot of strategies. Most of the time, people want to sit with a specific hard carry because a specific hard carry or a specific nuker, one of the two, they don't really like to blend because when you blend, it tends to not be as good in either quality. That's just the way it is. When heroes fit multiple roles, they tend to not be as good in either role. Just something to think about. It's not a guarantee, but that's usually the way it works. That's another reason why Pyromancer is not picked up too often either. But so in competitive play is what I'm referring to. So he's a fine hero. I just think that his role isn't necessarily something that's needed in the current metagame, and certainly something that's particularly really wanted. So his hero strength, I would say, probably sits somewhere around let's say 3.5 stars. 3.5 stars. No, you know what? Yeah, 3.5 stars is good. 3.5 stars is a viable amount for him. He's a good nuker. He transitions out. I actually love the hero. I played the hero and I fell in love with him immediately, and then I fell out of love with him and then back in love with him again. After the first game, after the first major team fight early on when I didn't have any items, and I realized, okay, I pressed my skills and then I'm useless, I was like, okay, well, this sucks. But when I was laning, he's fantastic in the laning phase. You blow your load on somebody and he basically dies. So, but in team fights, you need to sustain the DPS more. So without items, he lacks there quite a bit. Even, Pyromancer's cooldowns are shorter than his, so Pyromancer fills a much better nuker role earlier on. But, not to mention he's ranged too. But this isn't really comparing him to other heroes. I'm trying to more so speak specifically to him. So I'd give him 3.5 stars. He's a good hero. The problem being that he doesn't have a lot of sustained DPS, and to counteract that, his nuking isn't fantastically powerful. So he has the nuke, but it's not crazy powerful enough to make up for the lack of sustained nukage or sustained damage until you get items. Once you get items, he actually becomes a fairly strong hero, and with his ultimate boosting his auto attacks, exponentially, like every hit, you get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's superior magic damage too, which is fantastic. The cool thing to note about the superior magic damage is it goes through Shrunken Head. It does not go through mitigation, though, which is something people don't understand. But so the magic armor still mitigates the magic damage, but it will go through magic immunity. So what that means is if they built magic immunity and no magic armor, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. It's because they're not going to be mitigating a lot, and you'll go through the immunity. It's really kind of a cool facet. And it's something that people don't think about a lot. I think that makes him very strong against other carries who like to build, the Shrunken Head, and then they think they're, immortal against all those, stuns and magic damage and blah, 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 and then they just, build straight damage. So I think he certainly hits quite a bit once he built up those charges. I've yet to get max charges. I guess you'd have to be attacking for quite a while to get max charges. It's not impossible, I don't think, but I have yet to do it, and I've played him 3-4 times the other day, so I don't know. We'll see. But, so yeah, 3.5 stars. I think he's a strong hero. I think his role's a little bit blurred there because it doesn't really fit in the current metagames too well. It does a bit, but not crazy well. And I think he's an okay hero power-wise. It's just that he doesn't really fit into the way that the play style works right now with the way teams like to play. They like to play with hard carries, or they like to play with, whatever. So they like to do their own little styles, and he doesn't really fit into a certain, style, or the certain style that they like, rather. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you have any comments, concerns, requests, etc., blah, 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 you know where to find me. In the comments below, inbox, send me a message in game, whatever. If you guys, just a side note, if anybody sends me friend requests in game, please only send one. I've had a couple people send 9, and it's annoying to just sift through them to see if they're all the same person or different people, and just scroll through my things. So just one friend request, I will accept it. You don't have to worry. You don't have to send it 6 times. It's all good. I will accept. But so yes, I will talk to you guys later. Again, if you have any more requests, feel free to let me know, and I'll try the hero out if I'm not an expert on him already. That's what I did with Ravenor. I went and played a few games with him, figured him out a bit, and then I did a review on him. So if you guys would like that, please let me know in the comments below. Also, constructive criticism is fantastic. Any comments on this review would be fantastic. So please let me know, guys, and I will talk to you guys later. GG, well played, guys. Elfis out.